All right, this is John Kohler with GrowingYourGreens.com. Today we have another exciting episode for him here in Ventura, California at the, I think it's the 12th annual Heirloom Expo. They've been putting this on for a number of years. It used to happen for many years up in Santa Rosa, California, and this is the second year they're having it here in Southern California, in Ventura, California, literally right across from the beach. It's an amazing location, and I encourage you guys to mark your calendar for next year. It usually happens around the second week of September. I have been speaking at these things like forever. I did film my talk I did with Dr. Jeff Pierce on how to make your garden your medicine cabinet, and I will be airing that on my YouTube channel, so make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss it. So today what I'll be doing, it's the last day of the Heirloom Expo, and honestly guys, the best day for me to film would have been the first day, but I was so busy with setting up and just getting nabbed by people that want to talk to me and stuff, and it's always fun. What I would say to you guys is that this is probably the best event that I go to all year for gardeners and people into growing food, especially if you're into growing different and weird edible crops. There are so many different rare fruit trees that you're really not going to find anywhere else. There's all kinds of vegetable seeds on sale from Baker Creek. They sell them at the lowest price of the year, $2 any packet. Some packs normally in their catalog are up to $5, so that is a significant savings. And there's like 4 different stages of different speakers and live music and food trucks and like farmers market, produce to buy. It's just a good time. And I mean, I think most of all, there is community. That's what's here. You're just here bonding with other people that love plants and love heirlooms, which are so amazing. Of course, there are also amazing displays that I'll get to show you guys. And because it is the last day, a lot of the vendors have sold out of all their best stuff. So I would say if you guys are gonna come, then you wanna come on the first day. This event is 3 days. Of course, I come for all 3 days because you never know, what speakers on the third day that you missed on the first day. But if you're here just to get plants and get stuff, get here early on the first day. I'm here on the last day, and actually I just drove in, and if you get here about an hour early, there wasn't a guy taking the parking, but then you gotta wait around for an hour to get in because the event opens, it's from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every night. That being said, they do start promptly at 9. That being said, usually the last talk I think is scheduled at 7:30, but then a lot of the vendors seem to close up a little bit early, maybe around 7 o'clock or so. So I would, request that Heirloom Expo either make like a mandate for, any vendor that signs up, say, hey, you got to stay until 8 or something, because some people even close at 5, which I'm like, that's a little bit too early, especially if the event stays open until 9, and then, all the vendors are gone by like 7 or 8. I mean, the hardcore ones like me will stay later, but I mean, at some point, a lot of people just bail later in the evening because it does get kind of a little bit chilly down here. And of course, you're here since 9 and you're getting tired. Hey guys, it's John Kohler. I've got something really special for you from January 12th to the 18th. I'll be hosting a one-of-a-kind, super intimate retreat in the Caribbean on Culebra Island in the Spanish Virgin Islands. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. Just 4 to 8 of you will get my personal one-on-one time with me, learning everything about organic gardening and holistic health alongside my buddy Kailash Niels. Spots are super limited, so if you ever want to hang out with me in person, this is your chance. Hit the link below to reserve your spot, and I can't wait to see you there. Anyways, let's head inside and show you guys around the 2024 Heirloom Expo. All right, the first thing you are greeted with when you walk into the Heirloom Expo is the Great Squash Tower. They've been doing this like every single year. And this is the major photo opportunity. They should probably put like, photo opportunity there, but they say do not climb the squash tower. And so pretty much, I think the majority of people that come here take a picture for the squash tower and then post it on Instagram or whatever other social medias. It's a great place to take a picture. And here's a cool thing, guys. At the end of the event, they will sell all the squashes as well as all the fruits in the exhibit hall. So if you love food, then you want to come on the last day because they sell all the different, squashes and watermelons for like really cheap, and you can get some really nice stuff and delicious food. Of course, most of these are actually all winter melons, so they can store through the winter. And I encourage you guys to actually make squash a good part of your diet. It's an amazing food rich in beta carotene as well as other phytonutrients. I eat squash on a regular basis every week, so usually several times a week, especially this time of year when they're in season. All right, so what I'll do now is we'll go ahead and give you guys a hand cam tour of what the facility looks like. Basically, you walk in and there's the main street right here. You have two big kind of like buildings. They're like silo kind of buildings. The first one is the exhibit hall. That's where all the exhibitors are. Then there's the second one, which is the hall where they have all the displays of the heirloom fruits and vegetables. And then here they have a music stage for performers. And then there's a little office right there, which is where if you need to go for information. On the other side of the music stage, in the back there's the Santa Rosa Hall, which is the main speaker hall, so that's where I spoke yesterday. And in this area, they have some kind of food stands. They could get food, and of course they have picnic tables. That being said, I do recommend you guys bring your own food. Actually, that's what I did. I made food right before I left, and I brought it with me. And I've been eating my steamed vegetables every single day for dinner. And of course they have a little farmer's market over here where you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables to make things on site. All right, new for this year, they have brand new signs. So I love that a lot. So they have signs for the vendor hall. They have signs for the Ventura Grower Circle. So these are actually all local speakers that are from this area. So especially if you're in Southern California, they have regional adapted talks. Yeah, this is the speaker hall right here, a little sign. Then this is the other hall, the McBride Hall, where they have more talks. And then you can see they have a San Nicolas Hall, which is a second vendor hall, which is cool because they only had one last year. And they will provide you like free filtered water, which is really cool. Bring your container, or actually they have cups, which is amazing. There are some outdoor vendors selling different things. Let's see, this shirt says, "I just want to work in my garden and hang out with my chickens." So yeah, there's a bunch of outdoor vendors. Actually, I've barely been able to make it around to anything. And then they have Ojai Community Farmers Market area. So they have some farmers set up with their produce. They have one guy selling like vegetables, and then the guy that's selling the fruits, all kinds of in-season California fruits. Actually, he gets mobbed. And then it's also a little food truck area. So there's like food trucks as well as other booths to buy food. And then you can see at the end they have like a little TV thing which opens up, and actually that's the food stage. So that's really fun. Yeah, this is much expanded from last year when this area is pretty much unused. So, you know, this place is looking really good, and hopefully you guys will come next year. I mean, you gotta be here, it's so amazing. All right, so walking down the street more, we now have the exhibitor hall here where there's all the exhibits. They have a seed swap where you get free seeds. And this is Anna Kappa Hall, and we'll take you guys in there in a minute. And then over onto the other side, they have special exhibits. The Baker Creek Seed booth. Meet Ryan and Greet, I don't know who that is. And then they also have a kids hall. So, you know, they had field trips and they had kids come out in school buses. So this is like the educational area. And they like will teach kids and about growing food. They also have a little area where they give classes over here. Yeah, we're still about 45 minutes before opening. So I'd call these are like, they have a lot of different displays that are just kind of like educational, like science fair like thing. They also have like activities for kids. On this side, like arts and crafts kind of things, gluing seeds and drawing. I don't exactly know what they're exactly all doing in here. But yeah, they got stuff for kids. All right, they also got a labyrinth over here. So if you just want to take time out of your day, you could just go to the squash labyrinth, which is basically like a maze, and just you know, walk through the labyrinth. If you got kids, this is like a little maze, like a corn maze, but it's made out of squashes and watermelons on the ground. So a nice little relaxing area. Then off to the other side. Off to the other side, we got some artists here with their little booth. It's Kenny Stump Art on-site tree carvings. Definitely looks really cool. Cool carvings. And then over right here, we actually have the soil stage. So here's like the food speaker stage and the soil stage speakers. They have schedules posted all around. And so yeah, this is the soil stage that's outside. Oh, and they're also giving away free compost, actually. I'm about to grab some of this stuff, actually. So yeah, they're giving away free compost, so let's talk about it. All right, guys, so you know I'm all about free stuff, and they did this last year as well. This year they have like 4 pallets, and it looks like we're on the last day and there's still 2 pallets left. So I'm probably likely to, you know, fill a bunch up in my van before I drive home. And actually this is just all-purpose potting soil that's locally made here. It's OMRI listed, organic listed, and this stuff is derived from composted green waste from like the, you know, the green bins, redwood shavings, perlite, and sand. So yeah, pick up a bag or 2 of your free potting soil here at the Heirloom Expo. Just one of the many benefits you'll get to coming. I mean, this is the least of your benefits. I think the most important thing for me is the community and all the people you'll talk to and meet, and especially all the vendors you're gonna meet with all the amazing products that can take your garden to the next level. I think what I wanna do next is we're gonna head into the exhibit hall and show you guys that. All right, so we have just entered the exhibit hall, and this is where they have tables upon tables and tables and tables of heirloom different squashes and heirloom melons, as well as a lot of other exhibits that you can check out from a lot of non-profit local organizations and other people that have many different varieties of fruits and vegetables growing on display. So I mean, this is really like an educational experience to me, because you could see like they have a lot of the fruit cut open, so you can kind of see what it looks like on the inside and find your new favorite varieties. Of course, Baker Creek sells a lot of the seeds of the plants, of the fruits that you guys are seeing here, actually across the way, that we'll check out in a little bit. It's currently about 8:50 and they open at 9, so I have about 10 minutes to film in here before this place gets a lot fuller. I think we got some just people that are working in here. So I think I'm going to take you guys around on a hand cam shot and kind of just give you guys an overview. I have other videos where I kind of show every single table, which every year they have a few new ones, maybe a few ones aren't there, but I'll put links down below to my videos where I actually go over every table, actually with music, so you can kind of see more what it looks like. Let's check it out. All right, so over on this side we have all the squash. As you guys can see, most of the squashes are cut open, so you can kind of see what it looks like on the inside. Whoa, check out this squash. This is the Iote Green Flesh. That is cool. I've never seen a green flesh squash before. It's quite green. I wonder if that's like the chlorophyll content overriding the beta carotene content. Wow. Anyways, there's so many different kinds of squash, and once again, I want to encourage you guys to grow some squash, save them. You'll find that, you know, some of these varieties may grow better for you depending on your climatic conditions and soil and all these things, and they're so amazing. All right, so we're just gonna walk down, and you guys could just see like rows and rows and rows of all kinds of squash. All right, and now we're down to the melons. I don't know which one I like more, melons or squash. I like them both. Used to like melons more, now I like squash a lot, actually.
Okay, sure.
But here's the banana melons, golden honeymoon melons, all different kinds of melons, and lots of watermelons. All right, so this is one side of the display tables. So there's like 8 rows of basically double tables that are actually, man, they must be at least 80 feet long or something. Then in the center we have these round tables with all different kinds of the peppers. These are Lysa peppers. All the way down, then we go to the other side, and then now we have 8 more sets of tables as well. Once again, lots more watermelons. Then we get up into the heirloom tomatoes, including other kind of crops, including elephant garlic, which you guys should be eating. Oh, look at this. These tomatoes are so cute. These are called the spoon tomato. They're tiny. Of course, they have warty pumpkins and also just a lot of pumpkins. Lots and lots of pumpkins. There's so much genetic diversity in food crops, and it's so sad that if you go to the grocery store, what kind of winter squash can you buy? All right, maybe during Halloween you could buy some pumpkins or some of these decorative kind of squash. You can maybe buy butternut, kabochi, and a few other types, the spaghetti squash, and that's pretty much it. Here's a nice display of the heirloom beans that I would encourage you guys to start growing some beans and eating them. Black garbanzo beans. But yeah, I mean, I want you guys to eat the colors of the rainbow, actually. You can see here, you know, there's no lack of diversity of colors. Whereas the American diet is mostly white, with white processed sugar, white processed flour, and all these things that have no color. And then once again, many more squashes, including these long squashes. They also have a fruit carving booth, so they have an award-winning fruit carver carving fruits, making all kinds of cool decorations. Here's some of the ones he's done, and they put saran wrap over it so the bugs don't get them and they don't get messed up. This is the fruit carver.
Yes, I am. Hi.
Would like to say anything to my audience today?
I'm Carl Franklin Jones, the fruit carver, and yeah, I'm here. It's my 7th year here at the festival, and carving some really cool pumpkins and squash and melons. Probably 70 or 80 different variety of melons here. So,
what got you into carving?
Stress, depression, anxiety, all the stuff we have, PTSD. I needed a hobby. My doctor told me I really needed a hobby, get away. So 3 hours a day, I would carve fruit, and I would go to a Starbucks, and I would sit and carve, try to carve a flower, and I kept carving a flower every day for 5 years, always doing a flower and a leaf. And eventually, at first the flowers looked horrible. I mean, it fell apart, but then I would make a mistake, and then I'd figure out how to fix it. I wasn't a carver, I wasn't even an artist. So I would take and the very first mistake I made, I realized I needed to put my thumb put this middle finger on the blade. So my first mistake led to my first technique. From then on, everything you see here is a series, compilation of mistakes that I was able to learn from. So after a while, that kind of starts working on the anxiety and depression. You start understanding things better in a melon. And you realize that that's the way it is with life. When we make a mistake in life, what do? We can either go, messed up mistake, and throw the melon against the wall, or we can say, here's another opportunity to learn a new technique. So it's a philosophy, it's a way of looking at things.
Wow, man, really wise words from a fruit and vegetable carver. So how can somebody get a hold of you and learn more about what you do?
Thefruitcarver.com is probably the easiest way. On the Instagram, it's the Fruit Carver Wisdom. I will be starting in October doing some videos and trying to be a little bit more like John Kohler, but won't quite get there. I might need a few tips from you though.
All right, sure. And then can you help people, help them to teach them how to do fruit carving so they could de-stress? Because stress is, probably the number one killer in America aside from poor diet.
I think a lot of people understand that. This does improve your diet because you are eating a lot of watermelon, and we know all that good things that lycopene and all those good things do for you. But the whole purpose of these videos is going to be a teaching type thing. They make it so difficult to learn, and it's not that difficult. My students learn very fast. In fact, Zoe with Baker Creek, who does the photography, I taught her last year 2 or 3 hours, and then boom, she's doing it. So I'll be doing some videos of how you can do it, how you can do simple things that lead you to do more complicated things.
And do you give classes here at the Heirloom Expo on how to do it?
I do give classes throughout the country. When I'm in different areas, I'll schedule classes and do some culinary schools and hotels, and then a lot of individuals who just want to learn. But the video will make it a lot easier, so I don't have to travel to them, of course. And I may be a little behind time on that, but quite honestly, I want to get a little bit better at it before I start teaching other people.
Well, you know what I found, Carl, is that to become a better teacher, you got to become a better student.
Well, that's it. That's how it works. And, people say, oh, it's one of the number one comments I get here is people say, I bet that takes a lot of patience. And what I say is, no, people take a lot of patience. This gives you patience. Hobbies give you patience. Gardening gives you patience. The things that you do. So having something to occupy your time, what's the devil's hands, or idle hands, or the devil's whatever. I don't know all the things, but basically, yeah, if you occupy your time mindfully, you can de-stress and you can feel a lot better.
So yeah, one of the number one mindful things you could do is carve up some fruit, guys. Learn from Carl. His link is down below.
And grow green.
Thank you. All right, another booth you guys actually don't want to miss is the Murray Family Farms booth. You don't understand. I know Stephen Murray. I've visited his place many times. And this guy is a extreme fruit collector. He literally travels around the world to collect rare fruits. Of course, he grows many common ones as well. Many of these are available at local Los Angeles farmers markets, including farmers markets like the Mar Vista Farmers Market, Santa Monica Farmers Market, and others here in LA. None of these are for sale, they're just for display. He has all different kinds of more common crops, peaches and cherries and things. Then he has a lot of ones that, I'm not even familiar with. And that's a cool thing. When you come here, you will get an education, and you could, ask people, hey, what are wild dates? Actually, I grow the Akiba fruit. I know what that one is. Staghorn sumac. So many different things. Different kinds of jujubes, which actually one of my favorite fruits. This fruit's quite rare. The Che fruit. Different kind of medlars. Different elderberries. Different figs. All different kinds of fruits here at the Heirloom Expo. And then this is the little area, they're not set up yet. They're going to be doing watermelon tasting, where you have about 4 or 5 kinds of watermelons that you could taste and get samples of. Behind the watermelon tasting is a seed swap that I might try to film a little bit later. And then in the back of this hall, there's even more displays that you guys could check out. So over here is just more fruits on display, things like chayote, peppers, tomatillos, different kinds of chayote, corn, roselle, fresh dates. Jicama, papaya, peppers, cactus pears, some of my favorite fruits to eat, dragon fruits. Here's a table set up by Wendyland, including large loofahs. She should have labels on all these, actually, because people don't know what that is. I know what that is, but people don't. And then, oh yeah, some of my favorite apples, pink pearl apples. And there's nice flower displays, so if you're a photographer, you can't miss this place, man. This is photographer opportunities galore. You're not going to see all these cool plants and flowers and fruits in one place too many times in your life, actually. So yeah, just tables and tables of peppers and produce on display. So if you love to eat produce, you should come here so you could get an education about really all the varieties of produce that you can eat, which is a lot more than the grocery store will ever sell, unfortunately. They got even a ripe durian that probably should have been eaten. Different kinds of tropical fruits, melons, rambutans, bitter melons, lychees, different kinds of grapes, cucumbers, eggplants, soybeans, jackfruit. Lots of different displays for you guys to see here at the Heirloom Expo. So now I want to take you guys into San Miguel Hall, which is the vendor hall, and I'm going to show you guys my favorite vendors at this event. There's a lot of vendors in here. There's another vendor hall, a second vendor hall new for this year, as well as outdoor vendors. I think I did see one outdoor vendor I want to show you guys, and then the other vendor hall, but let's go into this one. There's like a half dozen booths. I have a lot to share with you guys, so let's check it out. All right, first booth I want to share with you guys is actually the booth of organic egg products. I use these very products in my garden. So they have things like red bugs, which if you do need to spray some kind of pesticide, organic on your plants to get rid of the pests, this is it. Now the other thing that I mainly like from the organic egg products the most is actually two products actually. It's the Pure Protein Dry 1511. This is basically the fish hydrolysate, not fish emulsion. I basically give my plants a boost, so when I transplant my plants and they look a little bit yellow, just hit them with this. I also like to hit them with this like once or twice a month during this hot summer season. If it's the winter time, maybe I might just do once a month at the transplant, then maybe like a month later, it'll give them a good solid boost, high in nitrogen. Now, if you need the K, another product I like is the Pure Kelp Dry. This is the 0020, really high, and I hit this because this is the kelp. It also provides other trace minerals to my plants. Organic Egg Products has a whole bunch of other products that I'm not super familiar with, but you can check them out at organiceggproducts.com. Of course, besides buying them direct from Organic Egg Products, I've negotiated special discount pricing with Josh over at Boogie Brew to get these two products at the best price at boogiebrew.net/GYG. Right. Of course, one of my other favorite booths is the booth of the Boogie Brew, and we got Josh, the Boogie Boy, and his lovely wife, Leah, the Boogie Girl. Leah, how's the show going for you?
So far, so good. Well, thank you for coming to the show and, supporting Boogie Brew.
Awesome. So, Josh, how's the show been for you?
The show's been amazing. It's a meeting of the minds. As always, the National Heirloom Expo, the #1 global epicenter for thought leadership in horticultural consciousness, John. And I heard you got the most number of people watching, like people coming and watching him speak. You were the biggest audience speaker.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you didn't know that, huh?
I mean, I see that our audience was quite huge, and other audiences have been kind of small.
I was the first guy to talk.
Yeah. So how many people were at your talk, John?
Like a dozen.
What did you talk about, man? Tell everybody.
I talked about what I just said. That this is the future right here at Heirloom. Everything that's needed for humanity to survive, the tools, the mental tools, the physical tools, the know-how, the brainiac power is all here at this epicenter. The tools for future humanity. And literally, our creator's own initials, G-O-D, are telling us all what to do, grow or die. Suburbia must become agri-hoods. Heirloom is the only way forward. It is the era of the great simplification. And those that have come here to this show from all over, not just Southern California. A bunch of the regulars from NorCal came all the way down here, and people quite right from all over the world, right? John's been trading tree collards to these people from all over the world. And they came here to see him and to exchange ideas. I've already learned so much. I think I found some recruits for my bike camp, from my property that I know you've told me, if you build it, I will come. And it all happened right here. It's amazing who I've met here.
All right, Josh, so tell us what everybody missed here at the Boogie Brew booth that they could actually order online.
Oh, he just wants to push my product. Well, we have a boogie board here, the Boogie Boss Leah.
Well, they're not getting any special prices.
Right, no,
online,
they got some. You come to the Heirloom show, that's where you get the Boogie Bro deals or the Boogie Babe deals.
What about the GYG deals, man? Don't my guys get a good price?
You know what? I just add that note for the free frass as always. He's got his GYG link on your videos.
Link down below.
Boogiebrew.net/GYG. Indeed, all the best stuff is here. The best stuff is actually next door. You're going to visit it, right?
I did.
You already, so he visited the Organic Ag Products. If you stranded me on a desert island and you allowed me one item only, it would not even be what you find at this booth. It wouldn't be the BB, my own product, the Boogie Brew. It would be the PP, the Pure Protein, 1511. And just spray with that. So out of everything at the show, product-wise, that's still #1 in my humble opinion. So, but yeah, of course, we're just here to share. We gave away 1,000 samples, all to eager tea brewers.
You could have got free compost tea, guys, if you came. missed out.
The heirloom, don't you think it went up a notch this year?
It's busy. This was much better than last year, absolutely.
Not just being busier, but
it's much better because
Much
they've
better,
expanded.
much
It's
better
gotten
overall,
bigger.
right?
It's gotten more exciting. It's
Right.
gotten more education, more stages. It's kind of getting crazy actually, and I don't have a lot of time to even film. So Josh,
Thank
I
you.
got to run. But if somebody wants to get some of your stuff, how can they do that?
boogiebrew.net/GYG as always.
All right. Thanks.
Miss you already, John.
All right.
Thanks for coming by.
All right, so now I want to share with you guys an educational organization that actually I learned a lot from. And if you're a farmer, you can learn a lot from them. Or even if you're a home gardener, you can learn a lot from the Organic Seed Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization to support organic and even lobby for organics and actually help farmers and educate them about organics. So let's go over there and show you guys what I learned by sitting here for a half hour yesterday talking to them. So basically I stopped here because I saw that they had UC Southwest Red dry beans. This was a collaborative project with Native Americans to basically grow some beans because they were kind of like having some problems with production. So basically they were able to come up with these beans. And the cool thing is, if you're here, you could probably grab a few to try in your garden. You could search for UC's Southwest Red dry beans. The cool thing is that the Organic Seed Alliance did trials, which they make the data public. So not only did they test the beans, they also tested things like corn, I think some tomatoes and squash to find out, how much water do they really need, and especially in these times of drought. So what they did was they planted these in like a floodplain of a river, and some beans got no irrigation, some beans got like irrigation once a week, and some beans got once a month. And they figured out which beans had the most production. And I think it was actually the beans that was only watered once a month. So hey, you might be watering your beans too much or too little. So once again, in gardening, one of the things we need to learn is, how much. You don't want too much, you don't want too little. Not too much fertilizer, not too little fertilizer. Not too much, you need to be like literally in the sweet spot. And that's what they've tested out in their trials. So if you guys want to learn more about some of the trials, they make all the data public. It is on their website. It's at seedalliance.org. All right, the next booth I wanted to share with you guys is really important, especially if you love beans or love growing beans, right? While you could buy beans in a little packet or get some free beans that I just showed you guys here if you were here, right? I think the best way to buy beans to grow them in your garden, in many but not all cases, is to just buy them for eating. Of course, enjoy them and eat them, but also grow them, because you could get them for way less money than you could a seed packet of beans that has 10 beans in it for $5, right? And especially, you want to support this company right here called the Foodocracy. It's like democracy, but foodocracy. And what they do is actually they get impossible to find heirloom beans and grains, and they could ship them to your doorstep. They have a monthly subscription program, so you never know what beans and grains you're going to be getting. And this is excellent if you're on a plant-based diet, so you can diversify your diet, have new flavors and taste sensations, and stop eating the stupid pinto beans and kidney beans that are at the grocery store, and have heirloom varieties that are almost impossible to find in some cases, not all cases. And of course, also responsibly, regeneratively, organically grown, and the farmers are paid a fair wage if those are factors that are very important to you. One of the cool beans I learned about here was from Ramona Farms. These are the temporary beans. They normally have 3 kinds. They just have 2 here today. They have the white and the kind of like brown. They also have a black, and these are American Indian foods. The cool thing about these beans is that these are probably some of the most drought-tolerant beans. They basically plant them in like Arizona, the monsoons come, it literally gets watered once, and they don't water it again, and yet it still makes the beans. Of course, all these beans, as far as I'm aware, you could sprout and then don't eat them because they could kill you. You can sprout them and then grow them in your garden. Of course, you'll still have a lot of beans extra left to eat yourself. I do recommend pressure cooking all your beans. Of course, besides just the temporary beans, there's other beans that are even more rare. And the owner's favorite bean is the Rio Zape, actually, that I'm gonna pick up today. These have a nice chocolatey flavor, actually. So I'm like, wow, beans that taste like chocolate. She's like, you could just cook these beans and barely put any spices in there, and you taste the flavor of the beans. It doesn't need any spices. So imagine, foods that taste so good, you don't need to add any spice because the flavor's in the food, and we've lost these genetics and these heirloom varieties. But of course, if you buy the beans, you get to enjoy them, but also you could plant some yourself. Another one of my favorites that he's almost sold out of today is the black chickpeas. And you know, while you could sprout chickpeas and eat them, these are not meant for sprouting and eating. A lot of beans, if you sprout them and eat them, they could kill you. But chickpeas, adzuki beans, mung beans, and lentils can be sprouted and eaten. That being said, these say not for sprouting because they have not been tested, in my opinion, for sprouting, because they have to go through a special process to make sure they don't have any bird pooping on them. But when you're cooking them and eating them, that's not the bacterial contamination is not an issue. That being said, the reason why these chickpeas are special, you're like thinking, John, chickpeas are normally like yellow. These chickpeas are black, so these are much more nutritious chickpeas than you could normally find. So that's what I really like about the Foodocracy, that they make some of these rare beans and even grains available to you guys. They have a few grains like the cracked rye, seashore black, and they'll offer different kinds of grains over the different seasons. So anyways, if you guys want to learn more, get on their Heirloom Bean and Grade Club or order any of these products as a one-time order. You can visit them at shopfoodocracy.com. Link is down below. All right, so this is my booth at the Heirloom Expo. I had lots of different tree collards. I had like 21 green tree collards, really nice size, as well as 12 purple tree collards and a few papayas and moringas, which sold out very quickly. The other thing I'm showing here is the best freeze dryer, which is the Stay Fresh freeze dryer. I'll put a link down below to the video I made talking more about it. You can check them out at stayfreshfreezedry.com. Use coupon code OKRAW for $50 discount. In addition, I'm selling a few seeds here, which I don't sell online, unfortunately. And I'm also demonstrating the Nama Juicer. I encourage you guys to get more of the fruits and vegetables that you grow, especially the leafy greens and vegetables, into you. And I believe juicing is one of the best ways to do it, because you can literally turn 1 pound of leafy greens into a measly 1 cup of juice, which is simply 8 ounces. So now all your leaves don't have to turn yellow and they don't have to get composted. You could get the plant nutrition, all the phytochemicals, vitamins, and minerals into you by simply juicing them. You can learn more about the juicer at namawell.com. Use coupon code heirloom55 to save $55 off. Next vendor I want to show you guys is Jaden, and they have their Rienkel. And actually, this is the composter you guys want to use if you guys make lots of compost and you want to break it down fast. I mean, many of you guys may have worms, I have a tumbling composter, but this composter could handle up to 2.2 pounds of waste a day. That's 1 kilogram, and literally turn it into compost within 24 hours. No, this is not one of those composters that are used inside that simply just dry and grind the food scraps into a dried flake material. This is a composter that actually has bacteria that breaks down the food. Last night before I left, I dumped in my cucumber scraps from juicing, and now I don't even see it inside the composter. That's how amazing this composter is. It basically it will break down and give you guys like a 95% reduction of the food into a much smaller volume. On this, you could do things like cook proteins, fruits, grains, nuts, vegetables, coffee grounds, legumes, cheese, carbohydrates, spreads, eggshells, stem, roots, and rinds. And we're gonna go ahead and open this up, so let's check it out. Check it out. This machine regulates the temperature, the aeration, and it even turns it for you so you don't have to. And I'm picking this up, and this is like basically compost. You can see there's some larger pieces of maybe some kind of, I don't know, seeds or something right here. But this has like a really nice, like really earthy smell. So if you guys are looking for a way to process your food scraps and food waste indoors, right? This is the fastest way to do it. So if you guys want to learn more, you can check them out at jaden.bio. Link is down below, and you guys could use the coupon code GYG. All right, next up we got the booth of Wildland Farms and Nursery. You can check them out at wildlandplants.com. Now, while we are here at the Heirloom Expo, he also will ship these plants literally all over the country, and he even has a permit to ship to Hawaii, which is impressive to me. He's out of Santa Cruz, and he has so many different crazy tropical fruits that perform well in Santa Cruz and may perform well for you. Like he has special varieties of the ice cream bean that have been growing in Santa Cruz for many years. Most of them are actually tropical, but he found one that really works in Santa Cruz. But in addition, he has so many other different tropical plants. So let's take a look at some of them. So check it out, guys. He's got some trees that are like literally $1,000. These are extremely rare. And of course, they've been growing a long time. I think it's like a Jaboticaba red. Those are quite rare. That being said, you know, you don't need to spend $1,000 to get a mature tree. You can get smaller trees. He has lots of other different trees. You know, depending on how long it took to grow and the ease of germination and propagation, it'll be priced accordingly. But most of his plants, you can see here, are around $25 to $50. And you can have, this is the ice cream bean, you've got so many different eugenias and all kinds of fruits, honestly guys, that I haven't even heard about before, which is totally insane if I haven't heard about this fruit. And he's growing them in Santa Cruz, so they may grow near you. You definitely want to check your zone before growing these, or you may need to grow them inside a greenhouse. All right, something else that I really want to share that was so important to me was I want to show you guys these guys. So what he has here is he has some pahoas or pineapple guavas, but he just doesn't have any pineapple guavas. You know, most pineapple guavas you may buy are unnamed cultivars or just literally landscape trees. Now, yes, they can make decent quality fruit, but what he's doing here is he's learned how to graft and got special genetics from New Zealand here. So he's got rare grafted pineapple guavas from New Zealand, multi-graft and single graft. So he's currently evaluating like 40 different types of pineapple guavas that he got cuttings from New Zealand where they have pineapple guava breeding programs. Pineapple guavas are one of my favorite foods in the entire world, so I'm so glad to see he's getting some of the best genetics in the entire world from New Zealand, and now he's growing them out and trialing them in Santa Cruz through his grafts. And these grafts are sick, guys. I mean, this graft is so nice. You can see like he just did you know, a tongue graft, and it's just really nice and it's taken really well. So I really am looking forward to when he gets his trials, because some fruits will be larger, some will be smaller, some will be a little more gritty, some may be sweeter, some may have more of the fruit pulp in the middle. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully even visiting him when they're in season so I can test them and then find out, you know, what budwood or scion wood I could get from him to graft onto my trees to improve the quality of my fruit. Maybe some varieties may be fruiting earlier or later as well. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I really applaud, you know, fruit growers and nurserymen who go out of their way to expand the genetic diversity, which is what they're doing at Wildland Farms and Nursery. You can check them out at wildlandplants.com if you guys want to order any of his plants online and have it shipped direct to you. Next vendor booth I want to show you guys is actually my favorite worm castings at this event. There's like one other vendor that had worm castings, but definitely if you guys are wanting worm castings, these are the ones that literally doubled my pepper harvest when I did a trial in my garden. Link down below to that video. All right, so let me show you guys the worm casting. So they have the Organic Solution Premium Worm Castings, and you can see they're right here. And if you guys want to learn how these are made specifically, link down below, because I visited their facility to show you guys exactly how these guys are made. If you guys want to do it yourself, or of course, instead of doing it yourself, because they add lots of ingredients, they feed their worms, and that's why they have the best worm castings. They're not just giving them food scraps and then just letting them go to town. They're doing very specific practices to have the highest quality worm castings. And I'm gonna tell you guys, this stuff works. If you guys wanna buy also too, they have a mixture of their biochar inoculated with their worm castings as well. I would prefer you guys buy biochar locally and then inoculate your biochar with their worm castings. That way your dollar could stretch and he's not having to ship the biochar all over the country. If you guys want to get these very worm castings that I use and that get put in every transplant hole in my garden, you want to check them out at organicsolution.com. I have a special 10% off coupon for you. It is GYG23. Next vendor I like a lot is actually the booth of the Coco Clean, and this is actually the world premiere of Coco Clean, which you've probably never heard before. You're thinking, John, you got a gardening show and you're showing like ultra concentrated detergent for your clothes. Yes, you guys don't know how many stains I get in my shirt, how many like you know, dirt stains that get on my pants. I need a good detergent. You know, to be honest with you, I buy at Costco the Ecos in a big jug, but it comes in plastic, and that is against my personal values. But that's like the best one at the cheapest price I could find at present time until I learned of the Coco Clean. This is clean for all, and I talked with the owner of Coco Clean yesterday, who I've known for over 10, 20 years, who's been in the natural products industry for many years, creating some of the largest companies, and now he's dedicated to this project because he wants you to not have plastic and other things in your icky things in your detergents that you're using every single day to wash your clothes. The other thing is that he's seen the ineffectiveness of a lot of the natural products out there that you would go to your health food store and buy to put in your clothes, and then it just doesn't even clean that well. So it's great that it's natural, it doesn't clean well, and then it's in plastic and you're just not happy with it, right? And then you go back to the regular big brands that big multinational companies are getting rich on, that are destroying the plastic with microplastics and all these other crazy things, in my opinion. So anyways, we're gonna talk to you guys today about Coco Clean. This product is not even out yet. This is the detergent that will work in high efficiency washing machines, over up to 100 loads here. And this is like the sample packaging. This is gonna be in fully recyclable and compostable packaging, because I could surely compost. This is basically just cardboard, and it's not even colored cardboard, it's just brown, uncolored cardboard. I could grind this up and put it into my compost bin. Check this out, guys. So one of the things that I didn't know that I was informed of is that, you know, you put your clothes on your skin, and basically most of the liquid detergents out there would contain this thing called, it says, we avoid mescal salacosine something, some big word I can't even pronounce, and it says a common liquid detergent preserve associated with allergic reaction. So even in free and clear detergents, they may have this preservative, because if they're putting it in a liquid, it can go bad, and they need to put something in there. And here's a test they did. Before, they put like olive oil stains, they got mustard, they got ketchup, they got all these stains on this towel, and then they washed it in their detergent, and it came out totally clean. I haven't used this product yet, but I have full faith in the owner, because I've known him for many years, and he's not gonna BS anybody. And the cool thing about this product is that, you know, there's no synthetics in here. We can look in here, a lot of these are like sodium carbonate, sodium borate. I mean, this is like, you know, borax and Arm & Hammer baking soda in a very specific formula, added with other, like, literally minerals that get, and things like the hydrogen peroxide that's supercharged, along with special enzymes, one of which is actually, I don't think it's been in any other product before, that will actually break down the stains and help to whiten your clothes, make them a little bit brighter at the same time. This is what the product looks like, just right here. They also have anti-caking agents, because that's a big problem with a lot of the detergents out there. So I really, wow, and it actually has, it's a nice fine texture, so it's gonna totally dissolve in your washing machine. So I really look forward to getting some samples of this and checking it out in the future to see actually how it works, and so that you guys could also, you know, do your laundry without any plastic or microplastics, like those little packets. Like I would never recommend using those still little packets that dissolve. Like, they may be convenient, but then I've heard of kids eating them because they look cool. You definitely don't want to eat it. So this is definitely a safe detergent to use. So if you guys want to learn more about the Coco Clean, get on their email list to get updates about when this is available, and hopefully one day it'll be in Costco near you at a price even less expensive than some of the other brands that are out there, which I'm looking forward to, because I think everybody should use a product like this. It's not going to harm the environment, not going to irritate your skin, and in fully compostable packaging, avoiding the plastic. Learn more at cococlean.com. All right, the next vendor I want to show you guys is really cool, guys. My mom was born in Hawaii, and this company was born in Hawaii as well. This is Hawaiian Island Seed Company. And what they're doing is actually they're trying to preserve the genetic diversity of many native and other tropical crops that could grow in Hawaii. What you guys may not know is that many of these crops that are grown in Hawaii, you can also grow depending on where you live. And if you give them a call or an email, they'll help you select the crops or the plants that'll grow best for you. You know, of course, they're selling things like the taro here, But what really got me interested more is like looking at their selection of the seeds that are all sourced in the Hawaiian Islands, and nobody was really preserving genetic diversity. So during the pandemic, the owner Michael, who started the company, started getting requests for like, hey, I want to grow food. Where can we get the seeds? How can we do it? Do you have any nursery plants? And then he started saving, collecting seeds, and getting them out to people. And he felt, in teaching kids about this stuff, and it was really rewarding. So now he's doing that and trying to make this his full-time gig. And so I want you guys to support him so that he could do that. But even more importantly, he's making some rare genetics available for you guys. Like one of my favorite Hawaiian herbs is actually called mamaki. I think this actually might be one of his last seed packs. They make like tea out of it traditionally, and I didn't know how am I going to get seeds to bring to Puerto Rico, right? Well, he has the seeds available. Another one that like probably nobody bought here because nobody knows what the heck it is, right? He has like the standard lilikoi or the passion fruit, but then he has the Jamaican lilikoi. And if you just see this package, Jamaican lilikoi, you're like, a lilikoi from Jamaica. It's just like any other passion fruit. Dude, you guys don't understand. This is a very rare and unique passion fruit. I've been looking for this seed for a long time. I mean, yeah, my friends in Hawaii could send me some that are grown it already, but for me to be able to find seeds and order them online, this passion fruit is unlike any other. It's kind of velvety on the skin, and when you open it, it's actually really sweet. It's not like that sour taste. This is my favorite lilikoi in the entire world to eat, so I'm gonna be growing this myself in Puerto Rico so I could get some of these rare genetics. And I could go over every one of these different seeds that he has, but I would encourage you guys to visit his website at hawaiianseedco.com, where you could actually check out and learn about all these amazing Hawaiian and other tropical plants that grow in Hawaii some are native, at hawaiianseedco.com. All right, next vendor I want to show you guys is Rain Dance Seeds, and it's Brian, and they're at raindanceseeds.com. He could actually ship you guys these seeds. And here's the thing, guys, I love Baker Creek Seeds, but their seed collections only go so far. Some of these companies and seed companies at this show that I decided to share with you, because there's a lot of seed companies here, but I'm only sharing with you guys a few of them because I've identified that they have some super ultra rare crops that you're not literally gonna find anywhere else. Like, especially me now having a property in Puerto Rico, I'm looking for, hey, what plants can I grow in Puerto Rico that are gonna really perform well there? You can't grow traditional raspberries in Puerto Rico, but when I saw this, they have the special Mysore raspberry seeds, which are basically a tropical raspberry that love the tropics, like Hawaii and like Puerto Rico. The regular raspberries won't grow there, so that's really impressive. This is another one that I'd never really even heard of, Amazon tree basil. I mean, if we just go around, they have like wild Colombian tomato. This guy collects things from like all over the world. I mean, this tree right here, which you need to be here to buy it because he's not shipping these. I was told that this is a relative of avocado that grows twice as big and he's even more fatty. He told me the name, I don't even remember it, but I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Rain Dance Seeds collects, gets, and then shares with people. So to me, that's just insane. I had a few of his dragon fruits the other day that tasted amazing. He makes seeds available for those, as well as so many other things that I encourage you guys to check out. So check him out at raindanceseeds.com. All right, guys. Next vendor I want to show you guys, I'm so glad they're here. It's actually a seed crop, Ocean Mineral Concentrate. So I have promoted other sea minerals in the past. Don't mention any brand names, but the challenge I've heard from so many people after using the other brands that I recommended is that, John, I use the seed product that you recommended to get up to 90 different trace minerals into my soil, but my plants died. I'm like, well, how much do you use? Where they're like, oh, I use this much. And like on basically all other sea mineral products that you put into your garden, it has high sodium content. So if you put too much, right, then your plants could succumb to sodium death, right? I mean, people over in Japan eat salt to commit suicide because it can be that toxic. I mean, I think most Americans are eating too much salt, and that's actually causing a slow death personally. And so I encourage everybody to reduce their salt consumption internally to humans, but also if you guys want to feed and get the benefits to your plants, the ocean minerals, you also, once again, want to have a sodium reduced concentrate to get up to 90 different trace minerals into your garden without the sodium, so you don't offset the important sodium balance in your soil. So that's why I love the C crop, because this is 95% sodium reduced. So as long as you follow the recommended application rates on the bottle, you're never going to kill your plants due to an overload of sodium, because they took it out, right? And you know, I think it's sad that other companies don't remove the sodium, so they go through an extra special process to do that. So if you guys want to take your garden to the next level, I would recommend buying the C crop, because you can foliar feed this on, soil drench it on, and honestly, through the foliar feeding, it's going to have much better uptake and rate, and you're going to see literally almost instant improvements in your growth. So if you guys want to learn more about the C crop, you can check them out at c-crop.com. All right, so the next vendor I want to show you guys real quick is the Sweet Hips. This is the edible rose. So we're not talking like you can eat the rose petals. These roses are the Rosa rugosa, which I've known about because those are grown for the rose hips. But unlike most random rose hips you would eat, they're really not sweet. They have all these hairs that can irritate your mouth, and they're very seedy. These have been bred and selected for over many years to be the sweetest edible rose hip you can find, actually. So I want to show you guys, number one, the plants. These are all tissue culture plants. They are selling them here. This is the first batch ever seen in the entire world. But luckily for you, they're now going in tissue culture, and many different mail order nurseries online will be selling them, such as Gurneys, although you got to make sure that you plant these at the right time, which they may not ship them to you at the right time. So these are small now. They will make fruits like this. This happens to be a smaller fruit. This was harvested months ago and saved for this expo. He had larger ones, but they've gotten eaten. But I really look forward to when my plant that I'm buying today grows the fruit, and so I can taste the sweetest rose fruit in the entire world that was selected for minimal seeds and more fresh pulp. In like countries over in Europe, they basically make jams and jellies out of these, but I hope to be eating my roses out of hand. So I'm really glad, for people like this that take the genetics to the next level and select for special traits. Of course, rose hips are also very high in bioflavonoids and vitamin C. So look for this at a local or online nursery near you in 2025. All right, so now I have the pleasure of interviewing Jared Gettle, who is of Baker Creek Heirloom Seed fame, and he is the one that is literally responsible for putting together the Heirloom Expo. This is in the 12th year, and I wanted to have him on the show today to show you guys more about the expo. So Jer, number one, I want to thank you for putting this event on. It is amazing. It seems like it's getting better every single year. This year is definitely better than last year. What really motivates you to put this event on? Because you're based in Missouri. You have to come all the way out here to Ventura, California, get your crew to come out and to put this event on.
I think it's just mostly connecting with all the wonderful people like yourself, talking about seeds and plants and good healthy food, and seeing what everybody's doing, and just getting to see everybody again each year, and meeting all the new people. Today I met people from probably a dozen different countries, and
wow, talking
about their seed collections and what they're eating and growing.
Wonderful. So have you got any feedback from people that have attended, and what kind of things do they tell you about like how coming to these events has changed their life?
Oh, just so many different stories, so many different people that find something that they were looking for, so many people that were like, hey, I came here, 10 years ago, and since I started coming here, now I'm a farmer, I started gardening or homesteading or growing my own food, and so many people that are, took new paths for their work and what they do for their livelihood. So it's exciting to see people, be able to use, many people have took the Heirloom Expo and got inspiration from somebody else here, and they became a potato farmer or whatever it might be.
Right, yeah, there's so many speakers here. They keep expanding the speaker stages, so there's even more information being shared and disseminated so that you could literally come into this event can change your life. All right, Jared, one of the most amazing things about this expo is because it is an heirloom seed expo, is the many displays that you guys saw earlier in this video. So what does it take really to get all those different kinds of heirlooms, and do you know how many are on display this year that people could really see in person?
I would say there's approximately 1,000 or so on display, and the process is working with a bunch of different farmers and gardeners, getting them to grow different things, and also some people just bring stuff on their own. You know, with some people we call, some people we contract with, and then we just have a whole host of different people that just bring things for the event.
Another thing is that Jared has a seed company, of course, and he sells a lot of the seeds from the crop. So of the 1,000 different varieties that are being shown, you know, how many of the different varieties could actually they buy today? Actually, you guys watching online at rareseeds.com.
Yeah, there's we have about 1,200 varieties now or so, and it's just, we're trying to display as many as we can each year at the expo here, and get people excited about trying things they've never seen before.
So would you say, like, I mean, for me, I kind of know what you guys sell and what's on display. I would say maybe like 70 to 80% of what's displayed is actually seeds you could buy and actually grow yourself next year.
Correct, somewhere in that neighborhood. And many things what we don't have, there's somebody else here at the expo selling seeds of. So that's the nice thing about the expo. It's a whole community of different people with seeds and plants and you know, garden supplies and so much more. So the expo is a special place because it connects all these different people and everybody sharing seeds.
Yeah, so I mean, if I had to make a comment, I would say, you know, Jared, I found things here that I thought I would just never find, like some tropicals from like a Hawaiian seed seller and a guy that's here in California that's collected seeds from all over the world. They're like literally available here all in one place. So if you guys are like a plant nerd and into plants and you want to find some of the most rare crops, come to the Heirloom Expo. And Jared, do you know when this is going to be happening in 2025, and will it be here again in Ventura?
We hope so. We don't have dates yet though, so we're excited to have a future event. This is hopefully we can be back to Ventura. It's an amazing spot. We love it here. It's just a beautiful location. Literally, you can see the beach right over there.
Yeah, the beach is right across the street.
You can feel that breeze and that salty air sitting right here right beside the building, and smelling the sea out here is pretty amazing.
Definitely one of the most unique places on earth to have a Heirloom Seed Expo for sure. So if you guys want to learn more about the Heirloom Seed Expo, you can visit them at rareseeds.com, get on their email list. Of course, you can request your free heirloom seed catalog at rareseeds.com, and which has amazing pictures and mouth-watering pictures that'll get you guys to buy some of the many seeds that are available here. And of course, if you guys get on the email list, you'll get notified when the next Heirloom Seed Expo will be happening wherever in the country it is.
Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate you being here. It's always an honor to have you be part of the event here and be able to network with all these different people like yourself. It's just really cool.
Well, thank you for having me, Jared, as a speaker. I really appreciate that I'm able to, you know, connect with a lot of you guys, because I'm kind of just behind the scenes normally making videos. When I come to these events, you know, actually somebody was walking right behind us and she like knew me. She probably wanted to talk, but we're doing an interview here, and I just get nabbed every 5 minutes. Somebody wants to talk to me, take a picture, and it is so great to meet all my fans and everybody out there that has watched my videos, and I've, you know, made a little bit of difference in their life because of it. So yeah, Jared, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Appreciate it.
For having this event to connect the heirloom gardening, organic, regenerative community, so that we could come together, share stories, share food, and of course, share seeds at the free seed exchange. All right, so I think that brings us to the end of this episode today at the 2024 National Heirloom Expo here in Ventura, California. If you guys enjoyed this content and want more like it, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people that love heirlooms and collecting and sharing and growing wild, exotic, and unique crops from around the world. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes. I'll be coming out every 5 to 7 days. Make sure you click the little bells to get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. I've been coming to these Heirloom Expos since they were invented, or since he started them back in the day, and I have pretty much videos at every single one, so you guys at home could see what you missed every single expo they've had. Links are down below to that. So with that, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep on growing.